Bond. James Bond.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup! Sublime!
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Tear me apart, Lisa!
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hi friends, and welcome to another episode of You Haven't Seen That? A movie discussion podcast where we introduce our friend Ben to movies he should have seen a long time ago. I'm your host, Amanda.
I'm Geoff.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to a slightly different episode today. We will be talking about the Golden Globe nominations, and then stick around because towards the end, we'll talk about our most anticipated movies and TV shows that will be coming out in the first half of 2026.
Happy New Year.
Woo! Yay, Globes. Everyone's favorite award ceremony. Oh my gosh.
Well, and I think we should preface that we're recording this a little bit before this airs. So if some movie has an Amelia Perez style meltdown, we don't know about it yet, possibly, on what we see and how we see the race with a little bit more time than when this episode is airing.
Speaking of Amelia Perez, Ben, I was looking back at last year's, which I thought was funny to look back on, especially with how the Oscars ended up. And like you said, the Amelia Perez style meltdown. So if y'all will remember from our top movies of 2024, where we did predict the Golden Globes, I correctly picked the winners in drama and comedy that year, The Brutalist and Amelia Perez. The eventual Best Picture winner, Anora, did not win any awards that night. It did not win Screenplay. It did not win Best Picture Comedy. Mikey Madison did not win Best Lead Actress in a Comedy. But I did see some interesting storylines kind of pop up from the Globes that carried over throughout the Oscar season. I think number one was that Flow won Best Animated Feature when The Wild Robot had been the big favorite pretty much all season, or the assumed favorite all season. And then that carried over all the way to the Oscars, to which Flow won Best Animated Feature. Fernanda Torres won Best Actress in a Drama, legitimizing I'm Still Here as more than just an internet or letterboxed sort of trend. I'm Still Here got nominated for Best Picture, and it ended up taking Best International Feature after the Amelia Perez style meltdown. And Demi Moore won Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy, legitimizing the horror smash that was The Substance. Really gave her a big momentum push going into the rest of the season. Though she did not win Best Actress at the Oscars, I think that win put extra attention on The Substance and kept that movie at the top of voters' minds. I think that's a big reason why the movie had the momentum it did to get nominated for so many awards that it got at the Academy Awards. So I think the Globes, like we've kind of talked about, they're kind of a silly award show, at least from a movie's perspective. And even from a TV perspective, it occurs so late after the Emmys. It, though, is very important for establishing early momentum when these voters are starting to watch movies and nominations are about to occur for the Academy Awards themselves.
I have a question and a statement. My question is, if the Amelia Perez meltdown had happened sooner, would it have been to the benefit of Anora at the Golden Globes or Wicked?
You know, that's a great question. That is a really great question because Wicked did win a Golden Globe that night. Shout out to the greatest award ever created, achievement in box office and cinematic achievement. So prestigious. That is a really interesting theory. I think based on the way that the Globes have sort of trended over the last few years with the attention towards like the international body and everything, I think it might have benefited Anora ultimately, but I think it could have been a lot spicier than what it ended up being.
Yeah. And that's a good segue into what I was going to say, which is like, obviously a few years ago, the Globes went over on a major overhaul when, they were on the verge of basically not existing anymore. And obviously, you don't want like a shady body of nominators and the people whose, votes can be bought, which is basically what the Globes were. But the one thing I miss is like the chaos of the Globes. Like they used to always have just these wild nominations and wild wins. And so I do think that like Anora probably would have won last year if Amelia Perez had the meltdown earlier. But if I think 5 years ago, it would have been Wicked. And I think, you know, you always would see these kind of crazy wins and crazy nominations pop up at the Globes. And I kind of miss that because now it feels very close to the Oscars and Emmys.
For sure. I think when I looked at kind of the crossover and what ends up happening at specifically with the Academy Awards when tied to the Oscars, I find it interesting that while picture doesn't have a ton of crossover, the acting categories do. Someone usually 70 to 80% of the time, at least over the last, say, 10 years or so, if you win one of the two acting categories, you are going to win or at least be a major player at the Oscars. So I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get into the different nomination categories and talk about them a little bit. So, first off, we have Best Motion Picture Drama. And the nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Sinners.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's interesting because I feel like it's a very rare year where a couple of the major front runners, meaning One Battle and Marty Supreme, are in comedy.
Agreed. Yeah, this is an interesting category because you have a few movies here that are definitely going to be players later on in the season. And up to this point, we've had the critics groups all voting, but they've all been voting in one category. And for a lot of them, they've been picking what is probably going to be the front runner in comedy and is ultimately the front runner early on so far at the Academy Awards. So this is ultimately kind of choosing what is the sort of second place. And do they go with the Palme d'Or winner? Do they go with a box office smash that has had momentum for 8 months, 9 months? Do they go with the late entry sort of big play, the international plays too? Like there are so many different options here, and it's really hard to pick within this category. One thing I noticed is that over the last 10 years, we kind of talked about how the Globes have changed. So I kind of focused on the last 10 years. Only 4 of the last 10 Best Picture winners won Best Picture at the Golden Globes. 3 of them were in the drama category. Those ones were Oppenheimer, Nomadland, and Moonlight. So not a ton of crossover with this category, with the picture sort of world. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out the rest of the season based on who wins here.
So what are you predicting?
I was ultimately trying to avoid making a prediction right now. My pick, I think right now,
I have it down to 2.
You do? What are your 2?
So I have this belief that Hamnet is not as strong as people think it is.
Okay.
And I do think, you know, Jessie Buckley is going to be a major contender, but I think as a film, I don't think it's so for me, I think it's down to Sinners, which would be a very old-fashioned Globes pick. And It Was Just an Accident, which seems to be doing quite well with things lately.
Those are the 2 that I was thinking as well, Ben.
Yeah. Those are 2 of my top 3. I also had Hamnet in my top 3 kind of in that list. I think that the fact that and my pick for Best Actress in a Drama is in Hamnet, and she is the focal point of the most important part of that movie, I think is something that is going to stick in voters' minds. But yeah, I think it's tough. Yeah. All right, let's do it. No Guts, No Glory. I'm going to take It Was Just an Accident.
That's what I'm taking too.
I'm going to take Sinners.
There it is.
There we go. Nice. I think I hate to play the narrative game, but I think It Was Just an Accident. It has an incredible narrative going for it, which I think sounds so stupid. I mean, I have not seen it yet at the time of recording this. It has not been to many screens around the Northern Virginia area, so I haven't had a chance to see it yet. Though it has won the Palme d'Or, Jafar Panahi has gotten in pretty much everywhere for Best Director as well in terms of nomination. So I think it's got a lot of things going for it. Sinners would be fun though. I would like to see Sinners.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's out of the. I could definitely see it happening for sure.
Yeah, I could also see Sinners winning the cinematic
and box office.
Yeah,
it feels a little below Sinners to me, but
yeah. But when I was looking at that category,
it might.
Yeah, I'm like, there's like 3 or 4 in that category that I could see winning. I know we're not going to really talk about that one, but I think it would be fun to see Weapons win that category.
Yeah, that would be fun, especially with the way that exploded in that time of the year.
Yeah.
I also love that they've, for 2 movies in that category, you have a movie that debuted on Netflix for a category with box office achievement, and then a movie that hasn't even come out yet when the nominations were announced. So
they're
That
like,
would be really embarrassing if Avatar just completely crashed and burned. But
right,
they're like, based on the data we have from the first 2 movies, we're pretty certain.
yep. I mean, I think it's pretty safe. It'll be one of those when we get to January and we look at the category, it'll be like, Avatar's just made $2 billion. Cool. Great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It will. But you know why it will? Because it's shown in so many premium formats. It's bound to make more money than just regular films that just go in regular theaters and regular screens.
I've never understood the Avatar thing. Like, I remember way back in 2009 thinking like nobody's going to care about this, and then it was huge. And then when the first sequel came out, I was like, nobody cares about Avatar anymore, and then it was huge. So I'm like, I'm done like believing that like nobody cares about these films.
Yeah, we didn't watch it for, well, yeah, we didn't watch it until sometime in the past 10 years. Like, we were living in Virginia.
Yeah.
And we watched it for the first time. So we missed out on the craze back then.
We never saw it in theaters. I think the only reason we watched it was because they were opening the land in Animal Kingdom.
Oh yeah. And there's going to be a new type of Avatar. I keep joking because Pixar's new movie that's coming out in 2026 is essentially an Avatar ripoff.
Well, they can rebrand then at Disney World sometime if they need to.
Right?
Yeah. It's like a girl who gets transferred.
The ride is enough for me. I don't need to see the movie.
The ride's incredible. Like,
it is an incredible ride.
When because they play like the song on the ride, and then they play that song in all the trailers. And every time the trailer plays, I just want to like throw my arms out, pretend I'm on the back of a banshee. Like, oh, I love it. Anyways, let's move to our next category.
Yeah, real quick though, real quick, Geoff, what do you think? I mean, I agree. Jessie Buckley is going to win actress. Who do you think is winning actor?
I think who's winning actor. I think it's tough. I'm going to go with. I'm going to see a similar sort of situation last year with Fernanda Torres. I'm going to pick Wagner Moura.
I think that's a good guess. I could see Michael B. Jordan.
You know what would be crazy though? It would be very old Globes if Dwayne Johnson won though.
Oh yeah, that would be insane.
Be wild.
Yeah. All right.
Best motion picture, musical, or comedy. It really annoys me that they put those together. Just because it's a musical doesn't mean it's a comedy.
Right? And then the interpretation of comedy is very loose.
Yeah.
That's true. So the nominees in that category are Blue Moon, Begonia, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vague.
Yep, nailed it.
Okay. And One Battle After Another.
Shout out Richard Linklater. Two movies.
Or is it Vague?
Vague.
It's Vague.
Nouvelle Vague.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Glad I went with the French pronunciation there.
Well, good job. Yeah. It is a French movie.
I mean, I figured as much.
I mean, this has to be One Battle.
It has.
The chance of Marty Supreme, but
yeah,
I think there's a better chance of Timothy beating Leo than One Battle beating Marty Supreme.
That is the more interesting thing for me that I'm more curious about is the Timmy versus Leo, at least early on. I think I would pick Timmy to win in that category as well, just because I think that there will be a late surge for Marty Supreme due to its release date, though. And I think the One Battle After Another wave, if the momentum sticks with it until the Oscars, will happen at the Oscars, where it's like it'll take supporting actor, supporting actress, adapted screenplay. It'll get all of these different things, and I think that maybe might be where you'll see Leo win. He'll start to gain momentum towards the end. But yeah, I think Timmy will win that category, and One Battle After Another will take picture.
That's how I think too.
Yeah.
And the other four, I mean, thanks for playing, but they don't have a shot.
Ben, remind me, did you see Begonia?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not as of this recording.
Yeah. That's definitely one that I feel weird about it being in this category.
Yes. I agree. Maybe it's the Yorgos Lanthimos of it all. That's the only reason why it's even in this category, which even then, like that dude has made some weird movies that shouldn't even be considered comedies. but
Yeah.
No.
It's like The Bear. It's like, sure,
Yeah,
it has a
well,
few
yeah.
funny moments, but
right.
wouldn't overall call it a comedy.
And I haven't seen Begonia, but I always feel like for TV, when I think about category, I always think of like more than anything like the intent and the like
Yes.
thematic feel of it,
Mhm.
as far as what I consider a comedy, what I consider a drama. Because obviously
sure.
some comedies have dramatic moments and some dramas have comedic moments, but I always think of like
For
what
sure.
is the thematic elements of the
Mhm.
piece.
Mhm.
I agree. Begonia rules. Good movie.
And no Wicked in this category.
No, that was the big thing I was going to bring up. No Wicked
Yeah.
for good.
Woohoo. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
The amount of times over the past couple weeks I've said thank goodness and then been like, thank goodness.
Well,
Oh,
I've
crazy.
been very happy that the reception to that was just very dull. And it's like, it's out of our lives already. Like,
it
we
doesn't seem like it's gonna like
Mm-mm.
carry momentum all the way to the Oscars this time.
No. And last time we had to be hounded with it for so long. It was in movie theaters for months and months.
Yeah.
And there was so much merch and collaborations and whatever. And this time it's just like, okay, we're done. Let's all move on.
See, and I think that maybe we'll get in, but I think that speaks to like when you're seeing it on Broadway and you're watching it all in one night, you're just like, oh, I remember Popular and Defying Gravity and stuff. But when you have a year in between them, it doesn't quite play as well.
Does not work. This is why you shouldn't make 2 movies around musicals. It needs to just be
should have been one 5-hour movie.
It should have been
gosh.
1 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Benjamin.
I will say the actress category, though,
that's
for
what I
a
was
musical
gonna ask.
comedy, this is fun. A lot of good nominees in this category, and I'm really interested to see if the HFPA goes with the sort of the critical darling of this early stage of the season, which is Rose Byrne, or do they go Globesy and go with Arrivo or Kate Hudson, or even, frankly, anybody that's not Chase Infinity,
Any
or
of them, yeah,
any of
yeah.
them that's not Chase Infinity.
Amanda Seyfried.
Or-
None of these feel impossible.
No, absolutely not. I think
I guess I'd be pretty surprised if Cynthia Erivo wins,
as someone
especially
who
after she didn't win last year. But
I would be shocked.
the other 5, I feel like I could see it be any of them.
Absolutely. And as someone who is a big pro Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, I'm like holding my breath and keeping my fingers crossed. I'm like, please, that would be such a good win. But yeah, I'm getting myself way too optimistic. I think really even with all of the movies that I've seen at the time of this recording, I think any of them would be a good win. I wouldn't be mad if any of them won. Not even Cynthia Erivo. I think she is. I mean, her and Ariana are the reason why you go see Wicked for good. So, yeah.
Quick thoughts on the supporting actors before we move to TV.
I think it's interesting that Benicio del Toro has sort of emerged as the critical darling in the early stages of that for a supporting actor, and I think he'll win there. And then supporting actress, I think they're going to give, as much as I would love to see Amy Madigan, I think they'll give it to Ariana Grande. I think that'll be their way of rewarding Wicked for good.
It does. It just seems crazy. I mean, without the movie being in picture, it just seems a little tricky to me, but people do like her.
I think it's because she didn't win last year.
Amy Madigan could win this.
That's fair. It would be a Globesy thing, like what happened with Demi Moore. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. And then cinematic box office achievement, no idea.
No, I like the weapons conversation, but I think maybe it could be Sinners.
I think Sinners would be good.
Especially if Sinners doesn't win.
Yeah.
Mama.
I think, and I think there is a case, Matt and I were talking about this briefly before we started recording. I think there's a case to be made for K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Because I think we were looking at the previous 2 winners since the category has been created, where Barbie won in 2023, which that was the #1 movie at the global box office and at the domestic box office. So that makes sense. It plays in the category. And then Wicked won last year, and that wasn't the #1 movie, but we agreed that it's like the movie that took over social media the most,
it was
especially
like
on the voting time.
#1 movie.
Biggest cultural impact. So
I mean, if you make that argument, that could be K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
I think that also could be Sinners.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Wide open. You know what I just learned too, as I was scrolling through the different categories? I didn't know that Miley Cyrus was doing a song for Avatar. That's hilarious to say.
I think it's going to be one of those cases where it's like slapped on at the credits.
Probably. It's called Dream as One. Wonder who's
And
dreaming
both
as
those new
one.
Wicked songs getting nominated is silly because those
Not
are not
great.
good.
Nope.
Yeah, those songs sucked. Sorry, Stephen Schwartz. Like they were not good.
They were bad. They were bad.
Yeah.
And like even though I don't like listen to, the Wicked soundtrack all the time or whatever. So I was curious if I'd be able to pick out the new additions. And I was
It's
like,
very clear.
oh yeah, okay.
I mean, it is a little bit harder because a lot of Act 2 songs aren't that good, but yeah, those were definitely stand out bad.
Yeah, they stuck out like a sore thumb. Alrighty, so let's move to TV. First, we've
Yay.
got best television.
Except I've
series.
watched more movies. I'm more informed this year on the movies than before.
How do you, man?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start with the drama category again. We have The Diplomat, The Pit, Pluribus, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus.
So last year's Golden Globes matched the year prior Emmys. And I think this year, I'm really curious to see if Pluribus will have made an impact on the age of PA.
Yeah.
To dethrone The Pit or Severance.
So my theory is that I think this is a three-headed race between The Pit and Pluribus and Severance.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like Pluribus and Severance might be vying for the same type of vote, which makes me think The Pit might win again, like it did at the Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Or I could see it just kind of turning into a two-headed race between Pluribus and The Pit. So I don't really think Severance is going to win here.
The Pluribus sounds like the fun pick, and
it does. It's another one of those, like, the Globes 10 years ago would have picked Pluribus in a second.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm kind of thinking it's going to be The Pit again. But I'm a little thrown by Catherine Lanassa not getting nominated.
That was one of my things. But then I will say the second thing is that I think they'll reward Pluribus with Best Actress in a Drama.
Yes, I definitely think that is true.
That'll be Ray Seahorn's going to win that way of giving an award to Pluribus.
Yes, and I do think Noah Wiley will win.
Yes,
so then you've got those two, and which one is going to take the series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm predicting The Pit right now, but
I like that.
And as of this recording, not all the Pluribus episodes are out. So if it ends on a really strong note where people are talking a lot about it, I could see it taking over the momentum.
Yeah. Talk about a show that's generated a lot of buzz.
Oh,
in the time of year where TV shows don't necessarily generate that level of buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree on The Pit.
The Globes used to like to be like the kingmakers and get it out early.
Yeah.
But like the Emmys already rewarded The Pit.
That's true.
So, will they want to be like the Pluribus, get ahead of the Pluribus train there? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what's funny is that by the time the Golden Globes start to air, like, I don't know if The Pit will have started already on Max, but they'll have really ramped up their previews.
It should. Yeah, I think it will have just started.
So there'll be that confusing the voters' minds or anything like that too. So it'll be interesting. But I agree with you, Ben. I think The Pit will win. And then Ray Seahorn will take lead actress in a drama.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next we have Best Television Series Musical or Comedy. And the nominees are Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, and The Studio.
This is such a boring category. I like all these shows. I do. Like, there's not one on this list I don't really dislike.
Yep.
And some of them I really like a lot, but I feel like I'm so tired of Abbott and The Bear and Hacks and Only Murders being like the ones all like constantly.
They're the only comedies on TV.
It feels like it's been that way for years now. And it doesn't just feel that way. It has been that way for years. Those four shows have been just on a run for forever. That being said, I think it will definitely be The Studio again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had a whole episode devoted to the
That's true. And there's nothing new and shiny to like take away from The Studio. Like The Studio, unlike pluribus being newer than the pit. There is
Mhm.
nothing newer than the studio on this list. I mean, nobody wants this new season, but not as a show. The newest show on this list is the studio.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that will prevail.
Thank you, Pepperstein.
I can't even believe that like Hacks is still that we're like still in that cycle, like to be thinking about. I'm like, what? That feels like that was so long ago.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
and that's what's so
unbelievable.
weird about the Globes with TV.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the acting categories, and it's like, it's just gonna be. I think it's just gonna be the Emmy category, the Emmy winners again. It's gonna be Seth Rogen, and it's gonna be Gene Smart.
Yeah. It's really hard to imagine it being anyone else in either of those categories.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the supporting actress category, I think the two front runners in that category, I believe, are both from comedies, in my opinion, at least. I don't know. I think the White Lotus ladies will cancel each other out, but I really think Catherine O'Hara has a shot to win and beat Hannah Einbinder.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely possible. Which is a hard call.
I mean, that's my kind of all guts, all glory pick as well.
Well, I think supporting actor is going to be Owen Cooper.
Yes, I like that pick. Yeah, that was my pick as well.
But supporting actress, it could be either one of them for sure. The TV things are always like, because whereas for the movies, they always, like you mentioned, are like the start of the award season in many ways, and kind of setting the tone for some of them to be contenders. Like, you never know with TV, like it's such a different, time of year versus the Emmys, but sometimes you can see like the first signs of like cracks in the, armor. Like this is where The Bear first started to kind of look weak, because
the timing was really awkward with the third season that wasn't as well received coming in. Yeah. Right.
So it's hard to know, but yeah, I feel like I'm going to stick with Hannah Einbinder as my prediction, but
I think you're going to end up being right. And I hope you're right, because Hannah gives one of my favorite. Ava Daniels is still one of my favorite.
There's a lot more than Catherine O'Hara.
That's true. So, yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to Best Television Limited Series, Anthology Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television.
Man, the Globes should hire you, Amanda. Crushing it.
And the nominees are Adolescence, All Her Fault, The Beast in Me, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, and The Girlfriend.
I feel bad that I've only seen one of these shows.
I have seen 5 of the 6.
Nice.
It's not that good a category.
No.
I feel like the limited series have really taken a dive in recent years. Like a couple years ago, those were like, that was where like everything great was. And in very short order, I feel like they've kind of become, I don't know, I think that was like a byproduct of the race for, building up content, and the, when every streamer was trying to add stuff, you were getting all these movie stars in these limited series, and, and there was like these really high profile projects. And now it feels like this is not, what people are looking for right now with TV. So Adolescence is probably going to win. I mean, it would be very surprising to me if it didn't.
Same.
I really have a hard time believing it's any of the others. I mean, like The Beast in Me, I thought was bad. All Her Fault is on Peacock. That seems, Peacock never wins anything.
except for The Traitors.
Yeah.
Shout out to The Traitors.
That's true. Black Mirror, it seems unlikely to win. The Girlfriend, is kind of even a wild pick. I feel like that came and went without anybody paying attention to it. And then Dying for Sex, had a little bit of momentum, I thought, but it already got steamrolled by Adolescence at the Emmys, and I don't see that changing here.
Yeah. I guess here's my question, Ben. As I'm looking through it, I think Stephen Graham will win actor. Who do you think is winning actress? Because genuinely, I look at that and I'm like, I'm just
I don't know
based off a name. Like, honestly, I'm looking at that. I'm like, I'm probably picking Sarah Snook, and
I kind of think so too, or Michelle Williams.
oh, Michelle, that's a good point because Michelle
Yeah,
didn't win it.
I mean, Sarah Snook could win because she's got the history of being an award winner, but
Mm-hmm.
so
No,
could
I like
Michelle Williams.
I like the Michelle Williams pick.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go
think
with
it's
that.
one of those two.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams
from
did-
Death Becomes Her.
No, the other Michelle Williams.
If you listen back to our New York City episode, our New York City recap episode, you'll know what Amanda's talking about.
And Michelle Williams did not win at the Emmys, but she lost to Kristen Milioti, who's not around this time. So she could have been a very close second. In fact, a lot of people thought she was going to win the Emmy.
Woo, go Kristen Milioti.
Yeah,
love that show. I do love the fact that there's a lot of chaos with having one supporting actor and one supporting actress category
it's
for
so
television.
crazy. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, it allows the White Lotus to not be quite as dominant.
I guess that's fair.
Oh, they don't do like supporting. They just do.
They do one supporting
supporting category.
Yeah. So like I'm looking at supporting actor and I see 2 from a limited series and then 4 from drama, 0 from comedy. And then in supporting actress for television, I see 3 for drama, 1 for a limited, and then 2 for comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's chaos, which I kind of dig, but also at the same time makes just everything crazy and chaotic, which I guess is a good thing.
All right. Does anyone want to talk about any other category briefly before we move on?
I do want to say that we got snubbed for best podcast.
We campaigned hard.
We did real hard. You have no idea the meetings that I took behind the scenes, y'all. It was crazy. Crazy.
I mean, how dare Dax Shepard and Amy Poehler and Mel Robbins and the Smartless guys? How dare they?
I know. Us or Alex Cooper. Come on. Come on. But no, in all seriousness, it's hilarious how they determine that category. It's hilarious kind of the windows and whatever for that category and seeing which was even eligible in the first place and seeing like, oh, it was a handful of shows across a number of different networks. Like, how do you even determine that? But it's like you have to submit to the HFPA and then I don't even know. Like it's a whole thing. But it's hilarious to see what got, quote unquote snubbed. Like part of my take from the Barstool Sports Network got snubbed or wasn't nominated. The Joe Rogan Experience, Megyn Kelly Show, the Bill Simmons podcast, the Ben Shapiro Show, the Tucker Carlson Show, the Theo Von's podcast. That's huge. So they clearly didn't go for just the biggest podcasts. They went for some sort of, I don't know, subjective sort of merit based or quality based, however they want to determine it. I don't know. Yeah. But my pick, based on no science or nothing whatsoever. I would love to see the Smartless guys win, but I'm picking Good Hang.
From The Ringer.
No, I think they've done a really good job promoting that show on social media. And I think that...
Well, everybody loves Amy Poehler.
Everyone loves Amy Poehler. The Globes love Amy Poehler. She's hosted before.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well... If you would like to watch the Golden Globes, Hollywood's Party of the Year will air live on CBS on Sunday, January 11th, 2026, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can also stream it on Paramount Plus in the United States.
And Nikki Glacier back as host.
No free ads, but...
Yeah, I didn't know they referred to it as the Party of the Year, and that is copyrighted.
Yeah. Well, because it's famously like where all the celebrities are drunk.
Yeah.
Well,
as they've cleaned up their act over the years. Yeah, I guess that's fair. As they've cleaned up their act over the years, I guess they've gotten less quote unquote fun as a result. I don't know.
Yeah. Although there's still free drinks at those tables.
It's fair.
All right. Well, let's move into our top 4 for this evening. As I mentioned before, we are doing our most anticipated movie and TV shows that are releasing in the first half of 2026. So this will be anything from January 1st through June 30th. And then at some point later in 2026, we will do another episode where we talk about our most anticipated for the back half of the year. So
I appreciate you putting that preface there down, Amanda, because everything I'm anticipating for 2026 is occurring in the back half of 2026.
I mean, isn't that always the case for movies?
Well, let's just say that
Fair.
the directors of my favorite movies from 2024, 2023, 2021, 2016 all have movies coming out in the back half of the year. So it's going to be a bloodbath, and I still can't figure out which I'm most excited for amongst all of those. So,
well, you have 6 months to think about
I
it.
do have 6 months to think about it. That's a good point.
Is there a new Dune in 2026?
There's a new Dune at the end of 2020, Dune Part 3. It's coming out, I believe, in October. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. It's coming out in July. Robert Eggers' Werewolf, his werewolf movie, coming out around Christmas time. His follow-up to Nosferatu. So
Merry Christmas to Amanda.
I'm so excited. Well, what's funny is like last
when
year,
Nosferatu came out like on Christmas.
yeah, I was so excited. Well, what was funny was that last year we were recording our best of the year before Christmas. So the way I had to scour the internet and be awake at midnight to solve a random puzzle in order to get early access tickets to a Nosferatu screening in the heart of Washington, D.C., just so I could talk about that movie on that episode.
And they won't even give us a Gold Globe nomination.
I did the work.
We put in the work.
So I hopefully will not have to go through the same lengths in 2026, but we'll see. Might have to, depending on scheduling.
All right. Well, Geoff, why don't you give us your list first?
Awesome. So my list contains only movies. Shocking. There are, I know, right?
Mine is only TV shows.
Oh, good. And Amanda's got the split. No, I think there's a lot of great TV shows that are coming out in the first half of 2026. A lot of follow-ups to seasons that I loved from a year or two ago. So I'm excited for you guys to talk about that. But I have a lengthy list of honorable mentions, but I do have a top 4 for this. So my honorable mentions, I'll just kind of get them out of the way now. Dead Man's Wire, Gus Van Sant's new movie coming out in January. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, Gore Verbinski's new original sort of sci-fi comedy. It's coming out starring Sam Rockwell. The Drama, the first of 3 movies starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, coming out in April. Wuthering Heights, Emerald Fennell's new movie with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. Mostly because I've really liked, hot take, I've loved Emerald Fennell's movies. I'm a big fan of Promising a Woman, big fan of Saltburn. I know this movie is probably going to be a disaster. I don't care. Super excited for it. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Love the first Ready or Not. Don't think a sequel is necessary, but whatever. The Sheep Detectives, which is a interesting movie, a murder mystery movie where Hugh Jackman plays a shepherd who gets murdered. And I'm kind of excited just based on premise alone. And then The Devil Wears Prada 2. That's another movie I'm excited about early in the year. But here are my top 4 most anticipated. Number 4 is The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal and starring future Academy Award nominee Jessie Buckley, former Academy Award nominee Christian Bale, and it's a remaking of The Bride of Frankenstein. I'm really interested to see how this movie is going to play out. I think that it looks fun. I love sort of production design and the look and aesthetic to it, and I think it'll be a fun time at the movies. Super excited for it. Number 3 is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, the follow-up to 28 Years Later, an incredible movie from 2025. It's directed by Nia DaCosta, starring Ray Fiennes, Jack O'Connell, Alfie Williams, who was the star of 28 Years Later. It's a direct follow-up to that movie, centered around Ray Fiennes' character, who is prominently featured in Act 3. It's already been screened, and has gotten good reviews early on. So I'm really excited for it. Number 2 doesn't even have a title. It's an untitled Steven Spielberg movie with aliens and UFOs. I'm sold. We have the only thing we've gotten at this time of recording is a billboard that has been shown in LA and New York. The trailer will probably come out by the time this episode airs. I think there are a bunch of different titles. Last one I heard potentially was that it'd be called The Dish. And Steven Spielberg sci-fi, Like that's where he made his bread and butter initially with Close Encounters or E.T. or Jurassic Park, which I know is science fiction. And then even in the 21st century, I love AI. I love Minority Report. I'm super excited for this movie. And then my number one is Project Hail Mary, based on the Andy Weir novel. Andy Weir also wrote The Martian, which is an incredible space movie. It's directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who directed 21 and 22 Jump Street, as well as the first Lego movie. And they're also the head producers of the Spider-Verse movies. Stars Ryan Gosling and Sandra Huller. Looks awesome. I think it's a really cool concept about this scientist who's sent to space. Not sure if he's going to come back, but his goal is to basically save mankind from extinction. And I love the way this movie looks. I have really high hopes for it. And yeah, I'm super excited to see that movie when it comes out in March. So those four are my top four most anticipated for H1 2026.
Great. Thank you. It's a good list.
Sorry, I hogged like 5 minutes of airtime there talking about that, but
Stop. All right, Ben, let's hear your TV list.
My TV list. So even though I did pay more attention to movies this year, I really don't know what's coming out in 2026. I've tried to focus on watching the ones I want to watch from 2025 more than usual. So 1 year at a time with the movies. For TV, there's not as many things right now announced that I'm interested in. I think there will be a lot coming, but at least as of this recording, I feel like it's been kind of, last year, the beginning of the year had the return of, within the first couple months, I should say, of 2025, had the return of The Last of Us, had the return of The White Lotus, had the return of Hacks, had the return of, several shows that I was really into, Severance. And so this year, I feel like a lot of those aren't, I know a lot of those aren't coming back, except maybe Hacks, which hasn't been officially confirmed, although I think it will be back before the Emmy window closes. So I didn't put that on there. I stuck to ones that are definitely coming out. So I have two honorable mentions. One is His and Hers, which is releasing this week as of when this episode airs, starring John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson, a thriller on Netflix. I don't know too much about it, but I like those two, and I'm curious about it. Limited series. My other honorable mention is called Memory of a Killer, which is on Fox. You never know, because it's a broadcast show, how it's going to be. Broadcast dramas have not been great lately, but I do think the premise sounds interesting. It stars Patrick Dempsey, and it's about Angelo lives a double life as an assassin and a family man, which all worked out until he was hit with early onset Alzheimer's, and now his worlds are colliding, putting his family in danger. Which I think sounds kind of ambitious for a network drama, so I'm curious about it. That comes out at the end of January. My top four. Number 4 is Margot's Got Money Troubles, which is an Apple TV show from David E. Kelley based on a book coming out in April. Stars Elle Fanning, Nicole Kidman, Michelle Pfeiffer, Nick Offerman, Greg Kinnear. So a really good cast. And then even Marcia Gay Harden in a recurring role. So it centers on Margot Millett, whose tumultuous journey as the daughter of a Hooters waitress and a former professional wrestler. After an affair with her junior college English professor leaves her pregnant, Margot turns to OnlyFans to support herself. Reconnecting with her estranged father, who shares wisdom gleaned from his wrestling days, Margot achieves remarkable success on OnlyFans. Which sounds, I don't know, just very interesting.
That's an interesting idea for a 2026 kind of show.
Yeah. And it's Apple, which makes me think it won't be like trashy. So
right.
I'm curious about it.
And they're also able to go a little bit farther than you could on a traditional TV network too.
But it's not like on like Stars or something where you'd be like, oh, this is going to be, Number 3 is Rooster, which is an HBO drama starring Steve Carell, coming out in March. It's produced by Bill Lawrence, who has done many great TV shows, most recently Ted Lasso. Set on a college campus, Rooster follows a middle-aged author played by Carell, navigating a complicated relationship with his daughter. Also includes Danielle Deadweiler, Charlie Clive is the daughter, Phil Dunster from Ted Lasso, John C. McGinley, and Lauren Tsai. I mean, it's HBO, it's Steve Carell, it's Bill Lawrence. That makes me very hopeful. Number 2 is season 3 of Shrinking, a top 3 show of mine from 2024. Love Shrinking, and I'm very excited for the 3rd season. Feels like it's been a long time. And Michael J. Fox is in the new season, which I think will be interesting. And then number 1, also premiering this week as of this recording, is season 2 of The Pit.
Yeah.
So bringing us to 4th of July and a new 15-hour shift. I think this show, I'm sure, we will have a little behind the scenes thing. We're recording this before we do our end of year podcast, but I have a feeling this will be discussed at our end of year podcast. So I'm not going to say too much more now, but I'm very excited for season 2. And it's exciting that's back just 1 year after season 1. And I get to spend another 15 weeks enjoying this on a week by week basis, which I'm very excited for.
Can't wait.
Definitely. Got me through the winter last year.
Big time.
For
It's
sure.
like my favorite. It's like old fashioned Thursday nights. On The Pit, and looking forward to doing that again.
Man, the good old days, y'all.
All right. Good list, Ben. Good
Thank
list.
you.
And then I'm here with your half movie, half TV list.
It's so fitting. We're being so true to form here.
So perfect.
Yeah. So similar to Ben, I feel like I don't really pay attention to a lot of stuff that's coming out in the next year, movies or TV. This time of year, I'm very consumed with trying to watch what's coming out right now and what's going to be coming out and available for the Oscars in early 2026. So really, if I've seen trailers for things, that's kind of the extent of it. So this is a surface level list here. I didn't do a real deep dive into everything that's coming out. One honorable mention that I tacked on when Geoff made his list, because I forgot about it, is The Bride. They've been showing tons of trailers for that, and I didn't want to put it on my list because I'm a little hesitant, just because we did just get a Frankenstein movie, and I know this is more about her, but I don't know. I really liked what they did with Frankenstein in the Frankenstein movie, and Frankenstein in this movie seems very different, like very different vibes. So I'm like, I don't know, will I like it as much as the other Frankenstein vibes? So anyways, I'm still excited to see it. I think it looks interesting. My number 4 is the movie How to Make a Killing. This is one that I just recently started seeing trailers for. It's starring Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley. And let's see, disowned at birth by his obscenely wealthy family, blue-collar Beckett Redfellow will stop at nothing to reclaim his inheritance, no matter how many relatives stand in his way.
Hell of a name.
Yeah, so I think he's going to try to kill his relatives to get his inheritance. If I had to take a stab at what that means. Take a stab. But, I enjoy Glenn Powell. I enjoy Margaret Qualley. So I think at the very least, I think it'll be an entertaining watch. Who knows if it'll be Oscar worthy, but hopefully entertaining. My number 3, similar to Geoff's list, is Project Hail Mary. I've also seen quite a few trailers for that. Geoff pretty much covered it, but it looks very interesting. It looks different. Ryan Gosling is, charming as ever. It doesn't matter what kind of role he's playing or who he's just always ever so charming. So definitely looking forward to checking that one out. It's probably going to make me cry about some like weird space being that he befriends, and I don't know, something's probably going to happen to it. Who knows? And just my 1 and 2 are the exact same as Ben's, so
I figured.
I don't have to say much more. But my number 2 is Shrinking, which, similar to Ben, was one of my top shows that year, even though Geoff and I watched it late. Just incredible. I cannot wait to see how that story unfolds even more. And my number 1 is The Pit, which, was the highlight of my week. I don't remember the last time I was that excited about a TV show. So, yeah, that's my list.
Very nice.
Thanks. All right. So, if you would like to watch along with us, we will be starting the Amanda Hasn't Seen That month of movies. So, there will be a couple movies that Ben and Geoff have both seen, but I haven't seen. If you're one of our longtime listeners, you'll know we did. Geoff hasn't seen that last year, I believe in January as well. So be on the lookout for that. Our first movie is, one of one of the big tragedies, I think, of like, what, you haven't seen that? We're doing Back to the Future, y'all. Somehow that has escaped me for the 35 years of my being.
Hey, it was like last year when I had not seen Forrest Gump, and that was the first movie we watched. It was like, well, sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their blind spots.
Exactly.
For sure. So be sure to watch along and join in on the conversation with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a rating or review and follow us on all our social channels. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
To infinity and beyond!
Why so serious?
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.